The underlying principles of SEAL training and support in Nottinghamshire are a universal entitlement for all children to emotional health and literacy, that we need to provide each child with an environment in which they feel safe and secure to explore their emotions and to make links between their emotions, their behaviour and their learning. We believe that behaviour is inextricably linked with learning and teaching and attainment, so that unless a child understands the feelings that shape their behaviour, and unless they understand their attitudes and their motivation towards learning, we can't ensure that children achieve their maximum potential. And also ultimately that personal relationships are key to all this, that if we can develop good, strong personal relationships with children where they feel valued for their own personalities, then they can feel safe enough to explore their emotions and to learn to their best potential. Because SEAL is everybody's business, and by that we mean that it can't be the isolated job of one person in school to manage behaviour, it can't be the job of the head teacher to deal with behaviour incidents in a negative sense, that behaviour in a positive sense, in terms of how we all feel and behave as human beings and how that impacts on our relationships and the way in which we engage with learning, is everybody's business within a setting. To ensure a joined-up local authority approach to supporting SEAL in school and across the local authority, we have an ongoing training and development programme that will include SEAL coordinators training, so identified SEAL coordinators in each school who can access training through conferences and through review meetings in local school groups. We've also prioritised providing training for the whole school community, and that will involve governors, head teachers, newly qualified teachers, parents, midday supervisors, site managers, anybody involved with the school setting, so that everybody is speaking the same language, so that everybody's familiar with the materials and can develop a whole school approach to teaching children social emotional skills. In order that as a local authority we all have a handle on what SEAL is really about and the message that we're giving to schools and the support that we provide for them, it's also essential that across divisions of the local authority we have regular updates and provide training for all staff. Schools effectively using a SEAL approach have reported a significant impact on children's attitudes to learning, their self-esteem, their relationship with others, their conflict resolution skills, their communication, their vocabulary, really the vocabulary, the way that children talk about how they feel and what that means to them, has been one of the most marked shifts in schools in Nottinghamshire. There have also been a reduction in behaviour incidents, increased attainment and improved attendance. As an example of the impact of SEAL in Nottinghamshire, I'm going to talk about two case studies. Both of these primary schools have a high percentage of children who are entitled to free school meals and a high percent of children on the special needs register. Both of these schools have used the SEAL materials to develop social emotional literacy and also anti-bullying practice, and they've done this in a creative way with a very strong focus on pupil participation. At Crescent Primary and Nursery School, they've developed pupil voice and confidence through creative play, through SEAL and through drama. Their school council is split up into sections with year reception and year one separate to develop their own speaking and listening skills. In the early years, their participation in assemblies is key because the children can get up and be involved with whole school assemblies at a level that's appropriate for them, usually through drama, through role play and through acting out stories. Their cross-curricular anti-bullying work has been instrumental in developing relationships and assertiveness work. For example, a younger class with many children with special educational needs and many children who are more reserved did a project through SEAL, the anti-bullying theme, on Humpty Dumpty, and acted out through role play the situation of Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall, where they took on the roles of the characters superbly and were quizzing each other and interrogating each other as to what could have been the causes for Humpty Dumpty's feelings that led to him possibly wanting to jump off the wall, or whether he was pushed off the wall. And this small example of the SEAL work through the anti-bullying theme showed the teachers the impact that the materials could have on developing pupil confidence. Crescent Primary has developed playground mediators through mediator training. The children then developed a booklet which explored the issues around bullying and the need for mediators, and they have a visual display so that younger children can access through pictorial forms the steps they need to go through to contact a mediator and to ensure that they feel safe and they feel protected if they're concerned on the playground. Every child has a leaflet in their tray which goes through the anti-bullying messages, including the steps that children take in order to make sure that they get support if they need it. They have a simple message as well, a stop message. If somebody is hurting you, either physically or emotionally, then you put your hand up and you just say stop. And the clarity of that hand signal for small children has also been very important. The clarity of that hand signal for children has been important in giving them something to hang an action on that's going to make a difference to other people's behaviour. In terms of relationship building, one strategy that the school has used is to set up a system of buddy readers so that every foundation stage child has a buddy reader in a different class across the school, and that has meant that children regularly can develop a relationship with younger children. The overall impact of year-on-year bullying work over the past 4 years at Crescent Primary has meant that children have an increasing capacity to solve their own problems. Children are more confident when talking about their feelings. They're more assertive if they feel that other people aren't taking care of their feelings. And their language that they use to describe what bullying, for example, might involve and might mean has become much more sophisticated in a very short space of time. At John Davies Primary School, there were issues with parental concerns about bullying, and the deputy head teacher and other staff felt that this was possibly due to some misunderstanding of what a definition of bullying might mean. So they used the SEAL anti-bullying theme to start a week-long project around definitions of bullying so that they could develop staff, pupil and parental understandings around a common definition of what bullying actually is. In their introduction, they focused on the definition of bullying and hung that around the concept again of stop. This raised the profile of what bullying actually meant, what it would look like and how it would feel like for children suffering from it. All pupils through class councils discussed the need for a very clear understanding of a definition of bullying and for dissemination of that information amongst children and among parents and carers. A group of gifted and talented pupils devised a leaflet to go out to all parents. There was a decision made that this should be very high quality on glossy paper in colour, and that also there should be a pupil version which would go out in an easy to read format. This involved decisions such as not black on white so that children would have greater ease with reading it, and also that there'd be lots of pictures that children could discuss with their parents and carers at home. The school sent out letters to parents emphasising that they were very welcome to come in and talk about any concerns they had related to their perception of bullying or the definition of bullying that the school had agreed upon and shared with parents. All children across the school worked on aspects of anti-bullying in very creative ways. So there were songs, there was artwork, there were multimedia presentations, and at the end of the SEAL Anti-Bullying Week, more than 200 parents came to see the children present their work on anti-bullying, which was the highest turnout the school had ever experienced in terms of an assembly. John Davies Primary recognises the need for a consistent whole-school approach, and to ensure that that's continued, the deputy head teacher leads regular assemblies every week, with bullying as one of the key themes. There's a strong emphasis on individual responsibility of all members of the school community to make sure that the anti-bullying message remains a high priority and remains one which children are consistently analytical about and considering their own approaches to and their own behaviours. The school has a main website which you can find in the resources section of this DVD, and that website has regular podcasts. You'll be able to find the anti-bullying song that was presented at the end of the SEAL Assembly, and also information about the approach that the school uses with anti-bullying and lots of creative work otherwise. To provide ongoing support for children, there's a named teaching assistant who the children know they can go to if they have any concerns or problems. There is a playground mediator scheme where children take responsibility for being mediators, and the other children know which children they can go to in order to get support or to talk about any problems. There are also child monitors across the school, so that children may choose to talk to a child who's from a different year group or from a different class. And the school council regularly discuss the anti-bullying issue, discuss the approaches within the school, discuss how pupils' attitudes might be changing, and discuss any further needs. John Davies monitors the impact of SEAL and the resonance of SEAL through regular pupil and parent interviews and questionnaires. Over the past 4 years, the school has recognised that SEAL has had a profound impact on pupil behaviour and on their attitudes, on their vocabulary and on their learning. The SEAL anti-bullying theme had a strong impact on pupil and parent perceptions of what bullying was. As a result of that, there are now very, very few parental mentions of any concerns about bullying behaviour. The deputy head teacher feels that in tackling anti-bullying with a strong emphasis on parental perceptions, they've managed to shift those parental perceptions, and as a result of that, the pupil attitudes have changed. So pupil behaviour has been directly linked to changing parental perceptions and having a whole school community approach to what we mean by concepts such as bullying, what that means for the way we need to change our language, our attitudes and our behaviour, and how we need to ensure a consistent approach across the whole school to make sure that everybody feels safe and secure.